What's going on, folks? Happy Saturday. I was gonna say thirsty Saturday, but shit, why not? Drink it up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. Let's get this show on the road. Guard our ships from the Streamlabs zone. Well, long haul. We're gonna start it off right today. All right. Some fun.
So.
What up?
Watching some wrestling and UFC.
I can't hear you. You gotta talk louder with your man voice.
I am.
There you
talking
go.
about man
There
voice.
it is. What'd you say? You're watching what?
No, I said you're watching wrestling in the UFC.
Yeah,
My volume's all the way at max. I don't know why you can't hear me.
It might have just been the initial.
And I see you're doing some firming.
Nope, truck.
Oh no, Truckin. So. You did farming this morning. So what's going on?
Just chilling.
That's it.
See if that's on yet. Bare Knuckles over in. Give me one sec. It's over in UK, so I gotta switch that stream. Western. Oh come on, not yet. Ah, fuck. Yeah, I love watching this WCW Vault, especially how it goes back into the 80s too.
Yeah. The Vault, I believe, is the channel that publishes. Yeah, like you're saying. Sorry, I smoked a joint before I called in, but yeah, like some of those matches from the mid '80s, for example. Well, I remember watching those as a kid, and it's just pretty cool. You know, the vibe's different. You know, wrestlers you haven't seen in a while because they retired.
Right.
Have they started an ECW channel? Because I know they did with WCW. So
That'd be cool.
because this is obviously ECW, right? On the WWE Vault.
Yeah.
You'd think they have enough catalog that they'd put it on a separate one. If they're doing it with the old WWE stuff and the WCW stuff, why not ECW, since it is his own brand? It's funny though. What's his name? Van Dam, Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Recently said that AEW is like wrestling garbage because of the Mox thing with the spike bat to the back, and people have been replying to him with fucking shit that went down in ECW that would sort of qualify for the same level of extremeness. So kind of hypocritical, but they also had him. Like, why would he talk shit about AEW when they had him on at least twice?
Yeah, I was gonna say he made appearances there.
Unless he's being told, like, I don't think he's that stupid.
He's probably just high.
I don't think that but I believe he's maybe now he's under a Legends contract, but there's a lot of these former WWE guys that go out of their way to shit on AEW, and sometimes it's unwarranted where they call out something that they did themselves,
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, because maybe they're being told because they're paid under the contract. You gotta throw them under the bus. Oh, and I think Eric Bischoff was saying, I just saw the headline on social media, but Eric Bischoff says that Tony Khan has to let Sting go induct Lex Luger in the Hall of Fame, which is kind of funny because there was several talents they didn't allow to go to Sting's retirement. So it's just like, and Tony has offered Billy Gunn when he went into the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
right? So basically it'd be, I mean, fool me once, shame on me, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, sort of thing. So Tony, I think, is in his perfect right in denying Sting, because, I mean, you're just encouraging that behavior, right?
Yeah, kind of.
It's not being petty, it's just responding to pettiness. And it's unfortunate that WWE is the one that's being that way. If it wasn't for them, and they could share talent between both companies, going to, again, support people that they've worked with through the past, it would be nice. How's the weather there?
Raining.
We got rain a fair bit, and it went to sub-freezing temperatures, so like a lot of it froze on the roads and shit. You know, they were warning us not to go out, blah blah blah, and even the trees are covered with like ice. This is kind of nutty. April's only a few days away.
Yep.
This has been one of the coldest and shittiest winters in a long time. I don't think I would have fared well during an ice age.
Definitely not weight-wise.
Sorry, Dad. Do I need to gain more weight?
For an ice age, yeah?
Well, as long, no, that's the thing though, is like you've seen that the carnivore diet can keep people extremely healthy. So you think, for example, during ice age, not that many, unless you're in closer temperate areas, you don't have access to much greenery, and most of the stuff you're eating is carnivore diet basically.
Yeah.
So that's, and you know that people stay really fit and trim on that diet. So I don't believe the whole story of cavemen being like big fat lunking, you know, idiots.
Well, you know who else is on that diet is that Jordan Peterson.
I did not.
He eats a steak every day with either water or red wine and a little bit of salt. Other than that, he doesn't eat anything else.
He eats one meal a day?
Yeah, just steak.
No, but that's throughout the entire day. Instead of 3 meals, he has one, and that's steak.
I think so, yes. I mean, when
Okay.
you look at him, he's literally like a fucking 2x4. But yeah, look it up.
He's a skeleton, and I would certainly be eating more than that. But also, when I thought the steak every day, I thought 3 meals a day with steak, which would be awesome, but very pricey. Dude, they send fucking steak up to Canada from Australia and New Zealand. And we have fucking Alberta here with some of the best fucking cattle.
And they still import it.
And it's just like, why are you sending this stuff? It has to be frozen, transported. I mean, it'd be one thing if it came from America, which you can sometimes find up here, but it's mostly local. And then you have them shipping in shit from fucking New Zealand, of all places. It's insanity. And also something that just pisses me off so much, because I like garlic, is that most of the garlic that you can find in grocery stores is from China. And garlic grows in the most inhospitable conditions. So you're telling me that you can't get Canadian garlic to my grocery store, but you can get stuff from China?
You should write a letter.
Speaking of China,
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of China, there was a Canadian member of parliament. He's a former cop, also happens to be Chinese, and he spoke to some sort of media company from China, and they were talking about a Canadian member of parliament who is critical of the Chinese government because they're from Hong Kong and they escaped and all that. And he told them that, well, you can always kidnap that guy and get the bounty that's been placed on him because China's issued a bounty on him, which is insane. And, that information got out and stuff, and the guy sort of backtracked. He's like, oh, it was a slight of judgment or some shit like that. And this guy used to be a cop too. So basically confirming CHICOM embedded spies, just like America, with the what's his name's driver. Was it Ling Ling? What was she? What was her job?
Oh, for Stowell or whatever?
Yeah, Sowell.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
so he was like an assistant or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
You know who also is the mayor of fucking Boston?
Yeah.
Oh
she's
my God,
weird, dude, she's weird. Like
she's no, it makes perfect sense. She's embedded there. Their loyalties are always to their ethnicities, always. And then they also hyphenate American. It's either you're American or you're not, right? So basically, what she's proposing, it certainly comes from the CCP and China. And I mean, how can it get clearer than that? It's all so coincidental, whether it be Indians or Chinese or Israelis, they're all sort of, trying to help their own rather than America.
Yeah. Fucking old school Tory Wilson. Billy the Kidman.
That's Tory. Who? Tory Spelling?
Tory Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. It's like, because I wasn't looking at the screen. I was like, what is the girl from fucking 90210 doing on
Tory
WCW?
Spelling? Yeah. She's weird.
All them heat? With Sherry? Oh, no.
Bare knuckle I got gone now.
On Blunts TV?
Yeah.
So, actually, yeah, it's too bad that Travis isn't here. I was going to ask him because he'd probably know too, but so AMD is it has released their latest video card. I don't know if you've looked into that at all, or
I'm more of a NVIDIA guy.
Because they've also, they released also as well fairly recently, right? The 5090 is their max. Oh, 4090? No, there's no 5090 yet.
I don't think so. No, it's 4090. Because I have a 4070. Actually, no, I have a 4080.
Let me look it up. NVIDIA. See if the 5090 exists, because I thought I did hear about that. Yeah, there is one.
How much
according
does it
to
cost?
Best Buy Canada? Well, I'm seeing various prices. Just the shit that pops up on. Oh, there's different things here, but okay. So the Best Buy Canada listing on Google, when I look it up, it's 32 gigs of RAM, $28.99. From NVIDIA's website, which is probably looking at the American pricing, yeah, it actually lists US $19.99 in stock. Yeah. Oh shit.
And people will buy
seeing
them.
one.
People will
Of
buy
course. I'm seeing at StockX or StockX, one for $5,635. On eBay, there's an $8,000 one, Founders Edition. But yeah, that's just what I'm seeing. You know, if I go to Canadian, like if I go to whatever, an American website, it'll give you an American price. But let's see what they're going on with Canada. What? So how much would your video card be when you purchased it?
I don't know. I gotta look. When I bought my computer, everything came in one. But
Yeah, but
my computer costs about $1,800, so I imagine that's like the processor and the graphics card. So, if you will, I'd have to look it up.
no worries. Let me see. And yeah, so AMD released their 7900. I think that's the no, actually no, it's the 9070. Is it? Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that's popping up the most. So that's the one that they just released. At least that new series. For Canadian prices, not too bad. $10.59, $9.99, $10.49. Actually, let's go. I always love this. Highest price. Sort by highest price to see how crazy some. Oh, $10,000, $11,000 GPU computing processor. L40. No idea what that is. Is your system water cooled?
No.
Good. Good boy. That's for the gays.
I didn't need something that elaborate, like, especially for what I'm playing. Like, if I was gonna have, okay, hear me out, dude. If I was gonna have like a huge flight sim rig or something where I was gonna be running huge monitors and whatnot, then possibly, yeah, because you know you're really using a lot of resources out of your computer. But for what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything that elaborate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even still, the systems necessarily are designed to be able to do that without the assistance of water cooling.
True.
Water cooling really only makes sense when it's, and yeah, there could be improvements in air cooling and all that. But they're always doing that. The only reason you water cool is because you overclock. And if you're overclocking, then either you bought a system that isn't the highest and you want to boost it because of some sort of competitive nature maybe, and you can't rely on a computer stock or whatever. But what else does it do, you know, performance-wise, that you would justify that increased cost and the risk that comes with water cooling?
I guess in my head it's just like a vehicle too, you know, like the more you can keep your engine cool, the more horsepower you're going to get out of it in a way.
But if you allow for that horsepower, because then again, what about the fuel consumption after that point?
And the air
so the same
intake.
thing applies with. Yeah, it applies to the computer as well, because again, you're wearing it down. It's not designed for those specifications, so you are wearing it down faster.
Too. If you have a computer and it's literally overheating, there's something wrong. Like, it's not that you need water cooling. There's something wrong with it. I got it. I get it.
No, but it's going to overheat for two reasons. You're either pushing it too far, or you're utilizing it where it gets hotter because it's doing more computations. Obviously, it's capable of doing so. Depends on the clock rate, though. And messing with that again can fuck with calculations, right? If you're
Yeah.
doing mathematical shit, there are going to be bits and bytes that get corrupted because of that. That's why they've got error correction as well.
See, I remember Dad, he had an overclock computer back in the 2000s, but it was for changing like 8mm over to DVDs, if you get what I mean. Like it was like I just call it movie production. And
what it does is it allows again, if you were to, for example, be a 3D modeler, right, and you overclock your computer and then render it, it's going to go faster, higher clock speed, right, more computations per second, but because of that, it's using more channels and so forth, sending more information more quickly and more recently, and it's going to get hotter. So that is understandable, but even with that, for example, I've looked into it. It can corrupt certain data. So certain video fragments or artifacts can appear when you're doing something like that, or a 3D render might not be fully rendered or properly. You know, the math fucked up because it was, being forced to go faster.
Right.
But it's understandable if you're on a tight deadline or you don't care about those artifacts. For a normal person, you said that they were transferring movies, right?
Yeah, my grandparents had old video cameras back in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and like the film, it didn't start to, but my dad was warned that it would start disintegrating soon. So he went through it all and moved everything and copied it, and then put everything onto DVDs for like the family and whatnot.
What year was that?
He started in like 2003 and it ended in 2009. And went through
so
like
basically,
2 different computers.
And no, well, that's understandable because you're really pushing it and such,
and
and
there
that
was the technology at the time to do it.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Which is, again, what I'm saying is that if one was to do so, the way that the movies were filmed and stuff, you're not using a professional, laboratory. You're not upscaling it. You're not cleaning it up and all that. So the technology at the time, as well as overclocking the computer, would justify, trying to get through that process quickly. So
I can't remember I remember the program. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this $200 program, and it came with this these external things where it was basically you'd put the A track or whatever the film was onto it, and then somehow it would copy it, and then there was a DVD burner that came with it too, and it was all hooked in by USB. And yeah, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
It was like an all-in-one thing, and I just remember him just doing it for years. But it is true, like the film, we went back and looked at it last year out of shits and giggles, and it has started to disintegrate.
Damn.
Yeah.
But you guys got it all though, right?
Yeah, he's got it in totes and stuff, but we opened one of them up and you can see where, like, I pulled out a string, if you will, like a film, and it's like...
I mean, the digital stuff, the stuff that you've...
Oh, yeah, the DVDs, oh, yeah. He's got it saved on a hard drive.
There you go, nice.
My dad's computer is similar to my old one that I used to have. He's got a hard drive reader on the top of it, like a USB drive. So you can just plug a push the mechanical hard drive right into it.
I had one when I was working in computers. I had one of those.
Yeah, before the whole 2013 LimeWire FBI bullshit, I went through and downloaded a whole bunch of music discography of bands and everything, and put them on a whole bunch of hard drives that way.
Dude, I was doing that in 1995,
Yeah.
and eventually like high speed and stuff, and
Well,
going to college and stuff where they had like a T3. Um,
yes. Oh my God. I haven't heard that in so long. T3.
and it
Wow.
was great. But I believe it was Lime. No, it was Napster at the point, but Napster was there. I remember being in a college dorm, and you could see other people that were in that college dorm in the what things were seating, right? And you could see all these downloads going on and stuff, and you could monitor the speed of the transfers and stuff. And I was also working for the business department there, and that at the college, and they relied on that T3 for data for the operations, and it saturated their internet, and it like fucked up how the office worked and all that for every fucking department, where they had to eventually clamp down on it and limit the amount of speed that that the dorm was getting. And yeah, that's when things got to shit, and you couldn't really transfer. You couldn't really download new things very quickly, but you could sort of share. So everyone was still sharing through Napster and stuff, so you could get
Uh-huh.
like huge amounts of songs.
Yep. I remember sharing songs through MSN Messenger too. They had a little, you could share up to like, what was it, like 10 megabytes or 20 megabytes or something like that. Yeah, if you like drug the music file into the chat box.
I never did that, but I ran servers before too, FTP servers and
Like
shit.
server boxes, you mean?
No, like as a server where you could connect from the internet, the
Oh,
address, you use FTP,
got it.
connect.
Oh, I got Ryan in the chat. What up, man? He says, bet $50 they watch in the chat.
He said that a
they
while ago.
they always watching.
I see they
Shout out
watching, they hating
Shout out to the 4 viewers. Shout out to the 3 likes. Really appreciate it, y'all. We trucking.
and talking.
Trucking and talking. Watching fight.
So yeah, 3649 for Zotac RTX 5090. That's a NVIDIA card. 3,900 Canadian dollars for another 5090. The most expensive one from NVIDIA is, well, apart from that one that I think is a server or some sort of, I don't know, farm type GPU.
I was in a Call of Duty United Offensive clan called Killjoy's Bunker, KJB. With these Canadians out of Regina.
Yep.
And I did scrim stuff. I don't know if you know what scrim is, like matchmaking, or like you'd go up against different clans or whatever, and do
Yep.
like headquarters. You get what I mean? But
No, I don't.
oh, okay.
I'm
It's just
ignorant
game
of this.
types or whatever. But it'd be like 5v5 clan wars, if you get what I mean. Like there'd be brackets or whatever. But anyway, I played with like I was like one of 2 other Americans, and it was like me and like 15 other Canadians.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I played with him for like 3 years. It was a really fun time. But the server that he had for it, he actually had in his home. Like he had like a server box.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he ran it out of and whatnot.
I used to do that too. I did that with Counter-Strike. Remember I was telling you about
Yeah,
like my
yep.
custom server and shit?
Yep.
Yeah, like I had a server that was running all different sorts of things, so I could access it from school or from fucking
Yeah.
somewhere and be able to, do whatever I wanted.
The only thing that sucked is whenever they'd get really heavy snowstorms, like really crazy snowstorms, it'd knock their power out, and then we could play. We'd have to go to other servers, but that was like really rare. But yeah, I remember these Canadians. There was like, but the main person that ran it, like most of these guys, they like lived together. There was like 5 of them in one house, but all their names were versed off of Hogan's Heroes. Like one guy was named Colonel Clink. Like these guys are just really backwoods, weird Canadian dudes. Wish I could remember their names though. Remember one was Killjoy, the other one was Colonel Clink. The other one was Weeb and Weeb Jr. But fuck. I was falling in love. Bare Knuckle. UK. The UK has fallen. Europe is falling before our eyes. Oh, they've canceled all Easter things in London and most of the Europe, and they've installed Ramadan instead.
Hold on. I haven't. You're going a little too far. I have not seen anything that says that. I've seen that it is certain. I've seen that a certain town basically shut down Easter, and then people were outraged. But I didn't hear about anywhere else in England or Europe.
Look up the video of the London mayor in the middle of their town square or ever saying.
Can you send me the link?
I can't right now, but I will. But he's basically saying at the start of it. Pretty sure he says we have done away with Easter and we're bringing in Ramadan. And like
I've not heard that. I would, if that was the case, I'd probably, due to the accounts that I follow, I'd probably be seeing it all over my timeline. So I have not seen that.
Well, I questioned some.
I did hear that I believe he actually said we will be prosecuting whites more than anybody else. So compared to AMD, sorry, well, whatever, NVIDIA and AMD, but the AMD, the most expensive AMD, equivalent, I guess, to the 5090, the 9070, it's going for $1,229. So obviously a lot cheaper. From what I've read, the performance is better than that of a 4080. Actually, now that I remember.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It said 26% more efficient from but that was their ad. So obviously slightly biased.
Always biased.
But yeah, I've always liked AMD. Their price for performance is good. Doesn't break the bank. And
I've just never had one. Like the first couple of computers I had NVIDIAs in them and whatnot. So I just always kind of stuck with that because like I understood the numbers, kind of like the way you understand the numbers. You know what I mean? Of the AMD.
Yeah, but there were other companies out there in the, let's say, basically 95 to 2000 that were making video cards. Most of them don't exist no more, but like...
what were they? Because I literally only know of AMD and NVIDIA.
No, I don't know. Yeah, man, the thing is I don't, and I can't remember.
Making them?
No, well, they had their onboard graphics, but no, usually Intel provided that.
Yeah.
No, there were. I'm trying to. Well, Sound Blaster, I believe, at one point.
Sound Blaster made graphics cards?
Yeah, but there's another one that I can't. No, hold on. I'm trying to remember that the logo was red.
But their sound cards were
video
basically
cards, 90s.
Crazy too. I had Sound Blaster.
Hold on.
Sound
Okay,
card.
so what's this one called? Voodoo, Matrox. Matrox was making video cards. Hercules was making video cards. Actually, I believe they were the
Ooh.
first to introduce
Hercules and Voodoo's ringing a
um,
bell with me.
Amber. What's that?
I said Hercules and Voodoo's ringing a bell with me.
ATI, which was absorbed by AMD.
Oh, yes. Okay. All
But I've
right.
always been vocal about this, dude. ATI, Canadian company, built when people were competent here. They were bought out by, and they made great, amazing fucking graphic cards and TV interface cards, which I had a ton
Oh,
of
yeah.
throughout the years. AMD buys them out, and what do? They don't move the building or the employees there. They keep the fucking jobs there, and they obviously establish I believe their headquarters is in Taiwan, but like they don't touch Canadian industry. They continue to foster and promote it, and Canada benefits. And I know when I buy that Canadians are being employed here, so that earns my loyalty. I know that at was it with video cards, NVIDIA has that edge, but you're paying for that edge too. Am I that obsessed? My life doesn't depend on it.
Sure,
I don't.
they're very similar. Like,
Well, but there are differences that would justify that cost.
does
But that
AMD
being
like
said-
have a user interface thing like that? Like, basically, like my computer has like a GeForce experience, they call it, and it's basically it keeps your graphics card and everything up to date. And if there is
Oh no,
a new
yeah, they have.
update, yeah,
well,
you download it.
I've got an AMD card. I'm trying to look at the system tray here. I can't find it, but it's called Adrenaline.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically the one that monitors what's going on. Lets you tweak things too if you want. But yeah, during the 90s, there was a very big run, and it sort of happened around the Doom time. Well, actually, around Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Quake. You started to see this desire for increased graphics, and we got it. But those companies.
Watch this.
Yeah, I just remember there's a big competition between them.
Oh.
Trying to. Diamond. Remember Diamond? That's the one I was initially thinking of. Okay, let me. I'm gonna put an image. The artwork. You do love your boxes and stuff, but in the general, the artwork there of the box normally looked like this. Had the red and white logo, and I just remember that they also were very competitive and known for good performance.
Well, who absorbed that?
You don't remember that at all?
Not those, no.
I'll have to look it up, but I'm sure somebody did. Diamond video cards. Oh, they still exist. Diamond Multimedia. I can't remember. I know you told me. I just can't remember. Did you get a plain case for your computer, or did you get the old RGB Rainbow Parade?
I mean, it's got lights on. It's got a clear side, but it's nothing crazy.
Okay, so you got the Pride Parade.
Like, it's got lights on it, but I turned them green. But it's not
Acceptable.
much different than my other one.
Even in the slightest, though, that does consume electricity. LEDs are obviously known for their efficiency, but it's still something that's going to burn out eventually. So All In is next Sunday. Texas.
Not in Texas.
That looks like it's going to be a good pay-per-view. Look forward to it. And I actually did request time off for the next day so that I can actually enjoy that pay-per-view even if it goes to midnight.
Oh, cool.
So I remember the last pay-per-view, oh my God, I could totally tell like you just wanted to get the fuck out of there. And yeah, it was a little
It
long
was
in certain
so
spots, but like,
late and like, yeah.
no, it wasn't lame. There were some great matches.
No, I said late.
Oh, late.
Yeah,
Like,
it went
yeah,
so
and I
late.
was the same way. I passed out before I couldn't even watch the last match because it's like, I got to tap out.
Guess it will start just.
The Osprey match was probably the best match of that night, but there were several. But yeah, next Sunday, where I shall bake some glorious chicken wings. Because during pay-per-views, that is the way. That is how you honor the pay-per-views. You make chicken wings. And the fixins. I'm speaking to the 4 viewing right now.
Shout out.
Shout out to the 4. Mr. Movie Voice, right here, exclusively on Bloods TV.
Yeah, she ain't on until 4, I guess.
If I had more energy, I'd be willing to stream. Do something funny. Just don't have that energy today.
Big fight here, big fight.
Excuse me, I'm watching you feed America
Logistics.
with your trucking stats.
I'm actually hauling tractors to the farms. See, farming. Always got to keep
Right.
America going.
Oh, connected. What we do know is that, Nikki, you're a patriot. And
I
there
think
needs
it'd
to
be
be
cool
several
to-
statues of you
I think
around
it'd
America.
be cool to have like a logistics company. I feel like you could do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'd be really.
As someone who's worked in logistics, especially crunchy numbers and stuff,
It's very tricky.
it's you know what? It's like fucking they call the flight traffic controllers, dude. It really is.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
really is, dude. But it's a challenge, and I like challenges, and I'm also a sadist and a masochist. So, pain is my pleasure, and hey, just...
Dave does
But,
like needles.
But then again, if you did start a logistics company, you can trust me more than any sort of Indian.
I'd call it Blunt's Transport. Oh, my fucking logo would be so cool.
I'm sure you could pull it off. You're a fine, upstanding chap. Quite
Like it.
capable of running your own corporation. Yes. I'd drive for you.
I'd drive for you.
But,
I'd bend for you.
I'd
Remember
probably
that?
do better. What's that?
I'll bend for you.
No. Well, that's why our but again, that closet full of dildos means nothing. I'm certainly super straight.
Black dildos. Black dildos.
No, there's some rainbow ones too. So
Oh, Big fight here. You might want to tune in for this.
All right.
These guys are.
That's Disco Inferno. Is that a fight?
No,
I know. I'm watching. Oh, this is bare knuckle, eh?
Yeah.
Oof. At least it's better than most of the fights that we see on fucking
UFC.
YouTube or fucking Twitter. Oh, UFC? Really? You're gonna go that far?
To certain aspects, I don't like. It gets really boring when it's just wrestling and wrestling.
It
and
can
wrestling.
absolutely.
Yeah. Like,
Again,
I
like there was a
but-
point. There was a point actually. I certainly remember where there wasn't that much emphasis, I'd say, on the MMA and more on I guess the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu aspect. And as such, you'd get these people humping each other for fucking 20 minutes on the ground.
Right. It's like stand 'em up.
I remember talking to a guy when, more than 10 years ago, when I returned to college. He's big into MMA and stuff, and I talked to him about this and, like, not necessarily debate, but sort of pick his mind, be like, but what about this and stuff? It's just like, but dude, like, not only in real life. Ooh, yep, I saw that. In real life, it wouldn't work, but also, what's your attraction to? Because again, even with a boxing match, they'll get broken up, right? If they're hugging too much, all that sort of. So it's just like, why are we watching them hump each other for fucking 20 minutes when it really isn't to the fight, nor to people's desire to watch two men hump each other? Like, come on.
If they're consistently moving around, like on the ground, that's one thing. But if they stop and they're literally laying there for 20 seconds, not doing anything, there should be at least a 10
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because again, the former is that they're rolling around trying to, like, they can't really punch each other, but what they can do is keep trying to get the other to move, right?
Yeah.
Get them into some sort of lock. So they're trying something. It's not like they're literally, pounding fucking dicks together and fucking hoping the other guy, comes first. Like,
Right.
it's gay. It's gay as fuck.
It's gay.
But that was then, and this is now.
This is now.
And it's certainly improved. You can compare it to fucking 20 years ago. 2005 UFC versus 2025, big difference.
Yeah, there was rarely a lot of that back in the day. Yeah, back in the UFC back in the day, they had like different weight divisions fighting people.
That was in the 90s, I remember, when it first started. We had different styles. No, there was a period, basically, maybe not as long as 20 years ago, but I certainly remember back to 2010 to 2012. Basically, that there was that penchant to basically just, two guys on the ground for 20 minutes, right? And the match that went on was like a total of 40 minutes or something. So most of it was, or at least half of it was on the ground, just not doing shit.
Yeah.
That always bothered me. I preferred, at least at that point, I preferred, old UFC where it's basically like you fit two different styles together to see fucking, like this is like literally for the, make some money by pitting two fighters together and we just, right? So you had like some really lopsided matches and stuff. And then I believe that's where you started to see the refinement of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu into mixed martial arts. Because that added to, there's other stuff to mixed martial arts like boxing, the timing and the footwork and so forth. So I see that as superior to BJJ because that's what grew out of what UFC created, right?
Yes.
the people found ways to overcome BJJ, and it was through mixed martial arts. So by combining all these differences in style, you get a very unique fighting platform, which it translates to wins. And it doesn't translate to fucking humping each other on the ground for 20 minutes. So, yeah, huge difference between 10 plus years ago. And it's made the sport better.
Well, it really
Yes,
has.
Mickey, you may praise
It really
me for my
has.
assessment. That's one of the most genius things I've ever said.
Well, sometimes I actually go back because when I listen to Joe Rogan, he brings up a lot of obviously UFC stuff, and sometimes to just understand what he's talking about, I'll like go back and look, and it's just like, man, this was so different back then. It's just the rules.
Yep, the rules as well. But that's the thing, is that they started something, and then they fine tuned it, and now it's a billion-dollar company.
Right.
That's how you know you've got somebody at the.
And they're partnered with WWE, and
Well,
that
they were bought
TK
out.
Holdings and everything. So
Yeah, TKO basically realized with the funds that they had, it would just be best to unify both of these under one umbrella company, and we have the resources necessary to promote both and have them profit.
right.
But I remember again when UFC started that all these other clone companies came out, and including, like, well, I think this sort of actually started it with UFC, before UFC, but the fall of the Soviet Union basically then started to promote these fights that were sort of not really sanctioned or anything, and they were bloody as fuck. And that stuff got to America and sort of encouraged more of these sorts of venues.
Right. Well, I remember hearing about Trump going to his first one, and then he brought it to New Jersey. Like
Dana came
one,
out and he was like, if it wasn't for Trump's help, I wouldn't have been able to, make it this far. And even Vince McMahon said the same thing, because he helped him with
venues.
WrestleMania 4, or possibly earlier, 1 and 2. I can't remember.
Well, yeah, but the thing with Trump though, he went and watched the whole thing. Like he went and sat before the early prelims and watched all the way to the main card, like over 7 hours. Yeah. And that's how he was sold on it.
All right, I'm back.
No way.
Way, dude.
All along the Western Front.
What were you saying about Trump?
Oh my gosh. Give me one sec. When he went to his first UFC event, he watched.
Oh yeah, that he stayed through the whole show. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was in. Ugh, this is in England, Manchester. Okay, I see it now. Manchester, United Kingdom.
fucking mom. Look at that guy's hair. Holy shit. That's the haircut you need when you go primal.
The mullet?
Yeah. It's just the way it's styled.
No, it looks like the barber was midway cutting his hair and just said, fuck it.
Fuck it, dog. Give me that Jameson.
From Doncaster, England, Danny Mitchell,
Johnny.
rocking that great mullet. Yo, it's hilarious. Did you see the message from, I don't know if it was an official British military, well, the army account, but on Twitter, but there was a tweet recently that came out from a group that was sort of affiliated with them in some manner, that basically said that, you know, we're going into Ukraine and we're done being nice and all that, and this is your last chance to join us for the fun. If not, you know, you'll pay the consequences. So not only is this group sort of saying that England's limited resource fucking somehow defeat Russia, but that this is your last chance, America, because if not, you're going to face repercussion.
We'll just fly a B-2 bomber over the area.
Now, see, the thing is, though, the British did it to themselves way worse than a B-2 bomber could ever do, is that they allowed so many Muslims to infiltrate the country that now
really
they basically... And the worst part is, it's, and I remember who said this, that France was going to be the, it may have been American, but France was going to be the first country to be, to be an Islamic country that has nuclear weapons. And that looks like it's going to happen to England first, because again, the same thing with France. They're giving over their country, and it's going to become Islamic, and then these, you know, there's going to be an Islamic country that has nuclear weapons. What do you think is going to happen after that? They also believe that to bring forth what essentially is the Antichrist, that a lot of people need to die. They call it the Mahdi, and to bring forth that entity, that people, like massive amounts of people, need to die.
That's too bad.
Well, if they have a nuclear arsenal, they would certainly say, "Fuck it! Even if our own people die, we bring forth the Mahdi."
Yep.
And speaking of Satan worshippers, did you see that? Oh man, I can't remember the state, but basically, some Satanists tried to get in and like defile a Christian structure inside the city hall, and they were stopped, you know, by this Christian guy, and he got attacked by this Satanist, and the cops were there, and they just fucking took him down and arrested the Satanist.
Good.
Did you see that?
No, I did not, but they oughta. These
Too
people
much
are
Fox
manic.
News for you. You need to, again, like I said, you need to fucking make yourself an.
I don't even
Don't get the
have it
premium. You don't need
on.
to pay for it, huh?
I don't even have it on.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you really want to, don't rely on Fox. Get yourself, signed up on X, free account, and
The
yeah,
one
you
thing I
can
haven't.
see this shit happen.
Have you been having a bunch of these Tesla protests popping up on your phone today?
Yes,
Yeah, I've been seeing that
not
some
a
too.
bunch, not like what America has seen, but there's been a few, including in Ottawa, where just a independent journalist approached these people to try to gauge why they're doing this, and they couldn't even explain the reasons.
Yeah, they just
Uh,
were robots.
Well, basically, without saying it, they said the TV told me not to like Elon Musk. Something, something, Nazi salute, something, something, orange man bad.
Yeah. Here they're carving Nazi symbols on stuff. It's like, you're the Nazis. Like, you guys are literally
No,
the
no, no.
Nazis.
See, no, no. See, we gotta stop. That's the problem. Is that's what they want. They want continuity to continue to say, "Oh, it's the Nazis." No, this is not Nazi behavior. This is fucking communist behavior. Again, everything else that they do lines up with fucking communism. This is not right-wing fascistic operations. This is the absolute opposite. And like, again, so many people get this confused about the way that the left operates. The left, by definition, is communist. It's like extreme socialist, which is basically communist. It's not the same thing as a fascistic rule. Totally the opposite. That's why they're on different sides of the spectrum. And they keep using the same fucking strategies over and over again. It's like, I mean, take a look at every single communist country. They did the same fucking thing. These are commies.
They are commies.
And you know the only type of good commie is a dead commie. But again, they're not human, really. You've already said that. They're like robots. They're NPCs. They're little NPCs. They're programmed and they just repeat the talking point that they were told is the good talk.
Okay, I just turned Fox on because you brought it up, and they just came back from a commercial, and it's showing Arlington, Virginia. Protesters target Tesla in global day of action.
Oh shit. That's happening today, huh?
Yeah.
I heard that they're planning something big for 420. They said that basically Trump
No.
was going to. Okay, so like some of the things that I've seen is that leftists are promoting the idea through Reddit and other places that there's going to be a mass, like either a banning of trans people in America or like a mass arrest and stuff on 420. So that's why they're trying to set it up to be that. Plus, like that was Adolf Hitler's day or birthday, I should say. So they're going to try to associate that with white supremacy because they always keep saying that's the biggest threat to America. And it's also the day that a lot of stoners are out there. 22, like it. And they're probably try to use to in protests and hand out signs that were already pre-printed like fucking months ago type thing, as we saw with fucking Antifa and other groups. Oh, and did you hear that Just Stop Oil, that terrorist group, I see them as a terrorist group, and environmental group that would wear those orange, like the bright orange safety vests and block highways and fucking throw paint onto paintings and all that shit. Uh, they say they're hanging up their vest, right? Um, After 3 years of operation. And it all coincides with the end of the funding of all these fucking subversive terrorist leftist NGO groups. Um, they were all funded by your fucking tax money, dude.
Oh yeah. And now they're mad that it's getting taken away.
But that's the thing, is these people inside the, like, again, this is another genius of the American system to protect against enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Domesticated.
That is, again, to think that that happened, was it how many years ago? Like more than 250 years ago, right? Or no, we're getting close to 200. But even then, back then, hundreds of years ago, they understood the problem better than anyone else. Clearly, because they wrote it down into law. They knew that a nation could be taken down from within, and that it was the duty of anyone that, you know, chose to do public service or make an oath that they would have to defend against. Dude, that genius. Have we ever seen it before in any other modern nation? No. It's genius. It's fucking genius. And you know, most of the people that created the legislation at that point, when America became independent, they were in their fucking between 20 and 30 years old. Meanwhile, find an intelligent 20 to 30-year-old. And for the most part, you will fail.
Right.
They exist. But, and able to create a framework for a nation? That's nuts, dude. That's nuts. That's providence. It just, to me, it looks like providence.
You see all these people protesting?
Which channel?
It's on the
Oh, there you go.
cam.
Okay, I get it. I was watching the UFC, yeah, I guess. Stop Trump and the oligarchs.
Hold on, I'm going there.
Yeah, I'm watching Americans against oligarchy. A lot of old people, a lot of gray hair.
Look at
A lot of
that. They
missing
all
teeth.
look the same to me.
Yep, they do.
They just all
But that's the
look
thing.
same.
These are the ones that benefited from the system that was already broken for the rest of us. These boomers basically were able to buy a house for what, $95,000. One person can work in the house, and now they're retiring. They're not even leaving it to their kids. But no, Trump's the bad guy because something ending corruption. But yeah, look at them. And then you've got the paid guy with the mask on, that little Antifa bitch.
Some fun.
So, actually, no. I wish Shaft was here. He would answer the automotive question. But how many Canadian car companies exist, Nikki, that produce a
I have no
full
idea.
working Canadian car under Canadian management?
I have no idea.
If you were to guess, okay,
I wouldn't even know.
and don't give Canada too much credit. Guess, you know, just give me a number.
2,
Like
3
on the
0?
level of GM or Ford or Honda. Or, you say 2 or 3?
Yeah, like I don't know. I didn't know if you guys.
Well, mine is 2 or 3. For basically any car, there are no Canadian car companies making automotive products on the level of GM, Ford, Honda, Toyota. Okay, there are plants here that make cars, but is there a pure Canadian company that makes cars on that level? No, there's a couple of them that make electric cars that are either one went bankrupt, the other one's in receivership or some shit like that. You know, there's smaller organizations that are developing things, but they're not really a car company, right? A manufacturer. And recently, the installed dictator of Canada said that the government's going to stop buying American vehicles, and they're only going to buy Canadian vehicles for government purposes and all that. But since there's 0 companies, where are they going to be buying these cars? Are they going to produce new plants? Well, those take at least 5 years to put together. You're going to have to, create your own dies. It's absolutely ridiculous, and they're also trying to gaslight us big time. Just like with the fucking polls in America saying Trump won't win, blah, blah, blah. They're actually trying to tell us that this guy and his party has more support than the conservative guy who's getting more people at his rallies. It's the same gameplay as fucking Trump. The media fucking trying to lie to us and tell us that this guy's got, again, this dictator who hasn't lived in Canada for 10 years, holds 3 passports, moved his company to America right before they instituted rules and laws to tax Canadian companies, this Brookfield company. He moves it to America and he saves money. Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. And this is big too with the fucking going to Greenland.
Yeah.
And they're trying to peddle that bullshit here in Canada, saying that the residents of Greenland are concerned. They don't want to be part of America. This is totally false. Again, if you get on X, you'll know this stuff because there's videos of people in Greenland saying Denmark's treated us like shit for decades. Can't get anything. No. And Trump gives us the opportunity not only to have more investment here and exploit the elements that exist here that we could make us really rich.
Well, think of all the Americans that would move there.
And Americans would move there.
Yeah.
But like,
who wouldn't want to move to Iceland? It'd be such an adventure in a way.
No, Greenland. Iceland's a different.
Greenland. Weed, marijuana.
But
GTD, or whatever. Yeah.
No, you're a Walmart American because you think.
I don't shop
Greenland.
at Walmart. I do not. I don't even go that part of town, Dave.
No, see, that's the point of the insult.
Walmart.
Again, I'm glad it makes you mad.
But it doesn't. It's just like I don't even go that part of town.
Well, then you should, to shame the people that do go there. Shoot the fucking fat hog that has to be on the scooter with a fucking paint gun. You're like, fuck you, bitch.
Pajama pants.
And if you're lucky, dude, if not a fucking moo-moo. And we get that shit up here. You know, you can call them Walmart Canadians, but you also have, you know, people that don't belong in Canada in Walmart as well, and they stink. And yeah. You watching college baseball?
UFC is coming on right after it. It's in the bottom of the 9th.
I gotta share something with you, nigga. Hold on.
GMTA in the chat, what up?
Okay, you may want to play it without it being picked up on the stream.
Oh, like through my AirPods?
Whatever. Again, if it picks it up, you know, you might get flagged.
Oh! I think this is what Cody said.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, it is! Cody sent me.
We have the same sense of humor. Excellent. I just found that today. I was like, that's pretty funny. I think I know who might, you know, think that's funny too.
I mean, it makes sense, don't it?
So you thought of what you're going to eat tonight, or have you already eaten at late lunch?
I actually have not, no. I had some fried ham this morning and haven't had an appetite since.
you know, break out the... For a large guy, that's always very odd. Very confused on that one.
Well, I mean, I drink a lot of like water, lemonade throughout the day, so like.
That's your appetite?
Don't really.
But you don't lose any weight, do you?
No, I say around 250.
Okay, whatever works.
I've been around it
No,
for 8 years.
Okay.
It all has to do with my milk intake. Because before that, I really didn't drink milk, and ever since I started different workout regimen, it calls for a lot of, you know, carbs and whatnot. So, I mean, shoot, when I was with Nikki, she had me up to like 5 gallons of milk a week.
Yeah, it was probably your fetish, but...
Fetish? Huh? Not when you're bulking up, Danny. Please help out, Danny. We got Black Myth in the chat. What's up?
What's his name? The guy with the fake teeth, fat dude.
Black Myth in the chat. What up? What up? What up? Danny.
UFC today. What up? What up?
Yeah, UFC's coming on. We got bare knuckle. We got things going on.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, Nikki, that I was wondering if you had broken out your smoker yet this year.
Oh yeah, I smoked stuff earlier in the year, but I haven't in the last month though. I don't really have anything to smoke right now. I don't even have chicken on the bone.
Unreal. What's up, Danny? What are you cooking? Oh, you know what? I'm glad that we have both of these people here today. But
we are the tanks of the community.
Well, we'll see after this conversation. But like, were you the one that told fucking Danny to slather mustard on fucking steak and then to cover it with onion powder and garlic powder and then Lowry's and?
No, I already said yesterday that he didn't tell me to do any of that on a steak.
No, especially not on a steak.
On a steak, he took a sirloin steak.
He rubbed it on a brisket.
Hold on, but there's the thing though. Also, I still don't. I didn't figure it out. Was it a sirloin or a strip loin steak that you put that on?
Loin.
What?
Strip.
Oh, okay, so you misspoke or mistyped. But again, that's even a bigger crime, dude. You know, you went because, dude, it's such a great cut, and you defiled it that way. I mean, that's like raping a fucking disabled gowns and leaving it in a ditch. Hey, he's the one that committed the war crime.
I wouldn't have gone too crazy if it was a strip. No, it really was a sirloin. You can see it clearly in the video.
Hold on.
But anyways,
okay, so I'm confused now. You're lying too much, Danny. Is it sirloin or strip loin? Oh it said on the package when you fucking bought it. Come on.
I just said.
I thought it was.
It's a sirloin. I said a strip just to see what you would say, but you've seen the video. Strip.
Okay, so you're just trying to negotiate instead of fucking death penalty. You just want life in prison. Okay.
But I will say this, with that mustard on there and that Lowry's and that seasoning salt and all that, I pan-seared it 6 minutes each side yesterday, and it was fucking amazing. It was delicious. I would do it again.
Your
it's different, but it was amazing.
Palate indicates that your people eat raw meat, very,
we do.
Rotten, and you don't care. So obviously, and in fact, that video I sent to you earlier, which Nikki just saw when I sent it to him, that's you. Okay, that word is you. Criminal acts. These Russians, you're making me want to side with you. That was a good joke. That deserved a good laugh.
I haven't even really put mustard on it.
Cutting out.
Last time I
probably. Do I sound like shit on this end? Because I'm not hearing y'all right.
No, you sound good. You sound good.
You're coming in at some points, But you didn't respond to my great joke.
Well, you kind of cut
That's why
off
I
there,
just
Dave.
said I didn't hear it. If you said anything, you got cut off because I didn't hear it.
Yeah, it cut you off, Dave. That's why none of us reacted, because we cut you off.
Well, I'll say it again because I do believe.
Dave is going to
Danny,
repeat himself.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's a sign of a weak mind. But Danny, you make me want to side with Ukraine more than ever.
Ukraine.
Oh, that's fine. I got family there too. Side with
No, you're gonna side with one. Stop being fucking a mutt.
He is the only one in the world that has 14 different nationalities.
Dude,
I
really
think
do.
that's because
My
he's a
dad's
Russian
family
spy
is-
that gets all these different passports, you know. So that could explain that.
Well, it's definitely the Russian side for sure because it's my fucking dad that's got all that crap. My mom, her people are in one fucking spot. German and Scandinavia. Doesn't go anywhere else. The rest of the world, my dad's side. So that ought to tell you fucking a lot anyways with the way my fucking dad is.
Get him off the.
Get
what
him
do you
out.
say? Get him out.
Get him out of here. I'll never forget that.
Dude, I can't remember what episode that was on, but oh man, I need a clip of that. That would be great. Good times here.
He's got a
on the-
hard on for Danny right now.
Who does?
The man in question. But yeah, there's certain things that make the experience disagreeable, Nikki. So I can say that I'm sure that Danny agrees with me, and I'm sure that you agree with me too.
Agreeing
Just like
is a
why bring that in? You know, we're here
You
to
said
enjoy.
accordant.
And no, I would have to argue that watching Nicky J is not like watching paint dry.
Yeah,
It's
asshole.
infinitely more enjoyable. How dare you?
Oh,
And,
somebody be mean in chat?
get him on.
Yeah, he did. His chef did a poll the other day, and it was. I think he was trying to do like what's better to watch on Sunday, soccer or football, but he didn't even put
Yeah,
like
that's
me
what he was
on
trying
there.
to do.
And then Getty's like, I'd rather watch paint dry than watch Nicky J stream. I'm like, and I just responded with hard R.
Yeah, but then again, it's just like, okay, kid, you're older than us and acting quite petty, and it's just like, okay, you don't like football, aka soccer. Good for you. You know, keep watching whatever it is that you want, but like, you're not going to convince anybody, you know, that your view is superior.
Well, I mean, a lot of people on the Discord would watch soccer besides YouTube.
Yeah, but in the point is that in the end it's subjective. Like, oh, it's better. Better than what? I mean, like, if somebody has a preference over something, I prefer vanilla.
You cut
Now,
out.
there's not going to be fucking, oh, you can mix them together. No, there's not going to be a. It's just like, just accept the fact that there's different things that different people like. And just trying to act like, oh, you know, one's better than the other. Like, you suck. It's just like, that's the attitude of a child. You know, there's no real competition in life looking in the mirror. Like, who gives a shit? And why would you act that way?
Right. Danny in the chat. Appreciate you.
Danny. Well, I gave that thumbs up way before you, Danny. Because unlike Travis, who is his biological son, I'm his stepson. I'm Nikki. Well, are we am I your stepson, or am I more like your cousin, your uncle,
No idea.
associate? I don't
You're
know.
like the mean
He's my best
stepdad.
friend. You know what? He's my best friend now. You're my best friend.
My best friend,
Nikki.
Nick.
Nikki, my
My
best friend.
best
That's
friend.
we just figured out the relationship that we have. He's my best friend. He's gonna send me a DVD player, and I'm just gonna spike it off my couch. It's gonna be great. But I love Nikki more than you do, Danny. I show it in my likes and my viewership. And if I've got to step away and cook a massive meal, where I don't add
like
mustard to a steak, it still gives them the views to beat that algorithm from YouTube. Can you say the same, Danny?
What I can say is I love Nicky more than you because he and I have the biggest arms in the community. Second,
We
I
do.
can say that I always like his streams, and I always tell Nicky that I like his streams. Always. I never forget to smash the like ever.
Appreciate you, doggy.
Yeah, but how about this? If you ain't first, you're last.
I'm last
And I'm
right now,
always
yeah.
first with giving the thumbs up.
Sometimes people do beat me anyways too. I try to be the first sometimes if I see them early in the morning, but somebody actually gets it before me. I'm like, I'm first. I'm like, wait, no, it just said 3. Sometimes people beat me.
And
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Thank you for your connection.
and scene. Ladies and gentlemen, what you've experienced recently was a reenaction in the view of Nicky J as to how the Sith react to Joe Cronin. But instead of praise, like we gave here, it is in the form of money on his channel, and yet he continues to whine. The Drama Community Podcast recently did a analysis of this, and in the last month, Joe Cronin got close to $2,500, and yet still acts like an emo kid whose razor blade couldn't cut through their veins. Story at 11.
Vertical or horizontal.
Yeah, again, the idiots. Horizontal. Or, sorry,
You gotta
vertical.
go down the road, not across the street. You're right. Take the long route. Going across the fucking street is just for attention. Go down the road, you mean it. Some of you out there take notes.
So what are you making tonight there, Danny?
I have no plans just yet, but I do have to have something big and hearty because I gave blood just a little bit ago, so.
Why you keep
Next.
giving blood to people who don't fucking deserve it? What are you doing?
I have to
Just
give
so you're
blood
like-
whether they want to use it or not, because I have too high of a hemocratic level. I make too many red blood cells,
Oh,
apparently. Now, yeah, so,
so because of that, you are forced to give blood.
yes.
If not, you
I'm
die.
forced. Basically, yeah.
Can't you store it yourself? Or maybe negotiate with like fucking, I don't know, the vampires from Epstein Island and like make some money?
Whoever's willing to fucking take
This
it,
is
give me
pure
some money,
Russian
yeah.
blood mixed with Finnish and Slavic and a bunch of other. But don't worry about that. What you have to worry about is this is pure blood. Are you making deals? Are you hustling? You got to be hustling. If you're giving, are you
hustling.
getting paid at least? Because I know in America you get paid for blood, not in Canada, but
No, you don't get paid to donate blood. You
You got
get
a
paid to
popsicle.
you get fucking, you get paid for giving hemoglobin. But at the blood
It doesn't
donation
apply
center,
to what you're doing.
they'll give you a, like today, you know what my fucking gift was for giving blood? I got a, it's actually kind of nice. It's a water tumbler, a good little canister, and a fucking, what does this say? I
Made in
have
China.
a 2025 summer general admission ticket to New Caney, Texas, Ride the Wave of Saving Lives fucking water park. So if anybody wants to go to a water park in New Caney, Texas, you can have this fucking ticket because I'm not going.
Yo, give that to YR.
Yeah, maybe YR will go. I'll keep the tumbler, but I don't need the fucking water park ticket.
Actually, you know what? Why don't you take fucking why don't you give that ticket to fucking Garguts? It'll be the first time you got a bath in fucking 2 years.
Yeah, get that chlorine in that hair and some shit, yeah. Nah, you don't want
Dude, you
kids
put
having
that
to come around
chlorine
hot
in there, it'll start like bubbling and
His hair will start sizzling, bro.
yeah.
You don't want kids to be
Even the
drinking that fucking
chlorine's
water
gonna-
on accident.
Even the chlorine's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Oh, look at that! Look at
Just- you
that! Shaft
You can
is
see like a
closed
chemical
his phone.
separation in the water.
Yes.
What's
And
that?
Shaft, he has football at
You can
3
see-
votes, paint dry at
If
2,
Dargets
and
jumps in, you can
Bucket
see
1.
like a chemical fucking
Ooh,
separation in the water. You see the chlorine and everything just going away. There's just a ring around them of different colored fucking.
No, it
and
would
dirty water.
basically, it would create a, when like one of these tanker trucks or fucking trains derails and it just, opens up and starts to expose the environment with all the fumes and chemicals. That's a
They, Burma and Thailand and the whole area are reporting over 1,600 dead.
yeah, it's kind of nuts. I've seen the videos and they're unfortunate.
At least all my people there are safe. I checked on all of them on Facebook. They're all good. So I'm
God's
happy about that.
watching.
Yeah. A shout out to those fellow wonderful Thai people that passed away.
Yeah, shout out to the dead.
Yeah. God bless you.
So Danny, you got to think about dinner.
No, it's I gotta think about what I want because it's got to be a hearty meal after you give blood. So it's got to be something big and thick or whatever.
And you're making it yourself, or you're gonna order it?
No, I'll probably make it. I've got a lot of stuff in the house that I'm bad about buying a shit ton of groceries and not using them. So I'm not gonna be lazy today. I was gonna just do something, just buy something, but nah, I got a lot of shit that there's to be made there. I've got fucking tons of meat, I've got all kinds of shit. So
I decided I'm making some chicken wings tonight.
you and
There
your
you
fucking
go.
chicken wings. Chicken wings sound good though.
I've got to
I'm not
have
hungry
them
yet.
once in a while. I should actually have them once a week because they're enjoyable. But the weekend is, I think, deserving of it. And plus, I like to watch, sporting events with some chicken wings. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
But
Go ahead, Amy.
I'm big into the food prep and trying to plan my meals. And I don't like to repeat the same type of protein 2 days in a row. So you got to vary that. And sometimes the stomach and intestines need a break from meat. So sometimes you need to substitute with some other protein that works, like beans or cheese or other things.
Yeah, it's just got to be something other than red meat because that's one of the problems too. That a lot of red meat can higher your red blood cell count.
Depends on the source. But break from certain foods is certainly required if you want to, again, continue with good cyclical cleansing of the intestines. But like fish is good for you. And you can find
really?
a variety of fish.
I got plenty of tilapia and I got salmon in the freezer and it's quick to thaw out.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Here's my problem with fish. Apart from food trauma, childhood food trauma, both Danny and I are survivors of that, aren't we, Danny? But basically, either I've been exposed to fish that smelled fishy, which means it wasn't fresh, or it was frozen, and again, coming from sources that it's just like, dude, we have those fish around here. Why are we fucking getting them? Right? And again, even frozen, some of that flavor gets taken away. There's nothing better than fucking fresh fish. Nothing. When it comes to seafood, obviously. It's just so fresh and stuff. You can taste it. But, something that either, it gets frozen or it thaws and just takes away the flavor. It's not enjoyable. So it's unfortunate that that's hard to get up here in Canada. Through grocery stores, you could go fish, yeah, place get good stuff, but you also don't know where they're getting their nutrients. So there's a big crapshoot and stuff. Unless you own a property, you can't really control what kind of fish are going through your property or what kind of sustenance you're getting. Really? Neither of you gonna back me up on my nutritional. Look, I'm even better than fucking who is now not speaking about a lot of the different things, which is unfortunate. Have you not been monitoring that, gentlemen? Or am I the only one following American politics here?
I didn't even hear what you said.
I
What'd you say? Monitoring what?
Repetition is the sign of a weak mind.
No, you're cutting out, dude.
You like
You're
said it
cutting
so
out.
fast, I didn't even hear what you said.
No,
my
Danny,
end, you
you're the
cutting
one who's
out.
fucking cutting out. Don't ever fucking tell me my internet bad. And although it is, it's still better than yours. What I was saying, gentlemen, was that RFK was very critical of certain things when it came to health, but as soon as he became Terry, there are certain comments that he has stopped talking about. And also, there's been a big discussion of taking soda, soft drinks off Snap, and basically a lot of conservatives are coming out saying, like, how dare you fucking judge how somebody can spend their social assistance money that you're paying for, by the way, with taxes. How dare you tell them that they can't buy fucking, pop and all this other bad shit for them, which, obviously leads to them going to a hospital, taking up fucking resources. Just simple, healthy living, keep them, because they chose to live, unhealthily, you, the American taxpayer, are now having to deal with it. Yes, that was a very long run-on sentence.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to. They should only be allowed to buy water, if anything.
Exactly. And what about crab legs and all these things that, because we've seen these people, again, they're high IQ, they flaunt it on fucking social media. It's like, look at me, I've got Snap, and because I'm on social assistance, I should be eating and living within my means. I'm laughing at the taxpayer who's paying. I'm not working, but they are, and they're paying for me to live better than they are. Of course people have a right to fucking be pissed off. And that's fucking supposed Native Americans. Native in the sense that born in America, not feather. But then you have all these people coming from outside the country with their hand already out saying, you owe me. You give me the best life, and I expect benefits. And especially with these fake refugees and all this stuff that should never have been allowed in. Dearborn needs to be nuked.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that facetiously. Dearborn needs to be nuked, and again, the cost of deportation is so much. Meanwhile, I just saw recently that fucking solid, full metal jacket, 9mm rounds were going for 19 cents. I mean, the solution's easy. Both of you should be agreeing wholeheartedly.
I agree.
Wants
I'm
to
just
be now.
woozy, bro. Got a lot of blood out of me.
Okay, then fucking eat something and stop whining. Stop whining! You call yourself German, or part German and Finnish and German and Russian and German and Argentinian and German. You call yourself all these things, but you're not acting like one. And Austrian and German. And Russian.
And Norwegian, and Swedish, and Russian,
Yes, a lot of the inferior races, yes.
and French, and Spaniard, and Catalan, and Basque, and Russian.
You might as well be Kazakhstani.
And Dutch, and Russian.
Eyes too close together. Protruding jaw. you know, the kulaks. So, Danny,
Yo.
I'm actually thinking that might be a good thing, content-wise, is food trauma survivors. There's a lot that I could actually talk about, and
Oh
cheaper than
man, me
therapy.
too.
But yeah, would you be willing to do a Too Many Chefs stream of that
Oh,
with
absolutely.
me?
Because there's other foods I could say that I've got trauma from that I can have.
Yeah. I say we actually plan it out where we can discuss one trauma each show, each of us. And in fact, if we get more people on there, that'd be great. But like, yeah, basically like this is one food. Here's the I'm put off by it, and here's the trauma that I'm gonna have to relive now by explaining it to you. I think that'd be fucking genius.
I'm down.
All right, we'll work it out. Exclusive here on the Blunts TV network. There's no place on the planet where you can't find the combination of the great mind, but here with Nick J on the Blunts TV network. Copyright 2025. Flip it.
Clip it.
No, you should. You should clip it and play it before your show starts. You really should put so much effort into it, Ken does. You could have like a 20-minute intro.
Yeah, it could.
UFC's in Mexico today, right?
I think so, yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, actually, now that you say that, I think it is.
Hmm.
Fucking weirdo. This is hilarious, listening to some of these protesters. They're trying to say, we're not protesting the vehicles, we're protesting Elon Musk. Really? Then why are you fucking killing them? Why are you burning them down?
So they're basically admitting
Why are
that
you doxing people?
the environment was never their concern.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So this whole climate thing is a scam.
It is. It always has been and always will be.
Of course,
I knew
but
it from the beginning.
It's so did I. I knew this in 1987 when my parents dragged me to a fucking Earth Day fucking protest. But yeah, it's always been a fucking lie, and they made it clear with these recent, statements. Like, we don't care about the environment. It was always about control, and fuck Elon Musk because he associates with the bad orange man.
Right. See, I'm all about, not littering and, when you cut down trees, replant them in the area so you get new ones in, 10, 15 years, stuff like that. But when you're literally changing the way, our natural resources are, like, because there's never going, like today, it's been, like, gray all day. Like, the sun hasn't been out. So how are you supposed to get energy, without having natural gas or anything?
Well, add that to in Canada, where, especially in the north, you still have snow covering the solar panels.
Yeah. I think I might saute up some sausages. Cut some up. I am a god. Tries and buys to the sky, Danny.
All day.
Danny, you're crazy, dude.
Little bit.
Little bit.
I'm going to roll up another joint. Dude, the stuff that I recently picked up, I think I talked about this, so stop me if I have. But this Granddaddy Perps I recently picked up. Oh man, it's so good. It's got this nice pungent smell, got a very strong aftertaste, very skunky. I love it.
Sounds like it. I know. Without a touch. Wake it up.
Danny, you watched that video of Trauma Community Podcast that had you and Targets going at it for 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Fucking good stuff. Very funny.
Shit was hilarious. I even commented on it.
I was thinking of doing a review on that, but I mean,
Oh wait, no,
I don't know.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't drama podcast.
I mean, you were there
it
and
was,
all. You experienced
13
it,
yards
but
to the windshield.
I didn't see that. But regardless, did you see their recent post where they show Garguts and they were commenting about his look and shit?
His look, how he looks.
Yeah, with his teeth and his fucking hair and all that. You didn't see that? Yeah. Let me show you in your general job. Yeah. Because it's just
How do
fucking
you get
too
all
funny.
this time to stay up on all this bullshit?
Because I subscribe to this guy because it's just so funny. The guy fucking analyzed. Try to figure
You just
it
cut
out
out again.
and it's whatever. What's that?
You
Oh
just
shit.
cut out.
Okay, let me connect my phone, my computer, so I get a better connection. Okay, I believe I fixed my issue.
His internet has been fixed. Yes, of course.
We got that ice storm, so it was affecting my hard line connection. So I just switched it to my old reliable self
Danny?
connection, and it's
Did,
good.
did he just say? Did he just say herd line?
Good line. Good baby.
He said herd line.
Oh, I sent the same photo twice, but yes, you guys get it. Fucking targets looking disgusting, like a fucking witch. Really? You gonna kick
Oh my
me
god,
out
I
of the
gotta
boat?
save that picture.
Yeah, this channel's doing great work. It's hilarious. And yeah, there's criticism on me, but it's fucking hilarious. And I could be wrong, but it's still fun. And again, the AI is just it's so hilarious.
Big fight here, Danny. Big fight.
It's coming out.
Coming down the Himalayas at 7'13", it's the son of Nicky J, the one and only Big Balls Yeti. It's right there, yeah. Get the one and only.
I'm still trying to figure out the 13 part.
Yeah, wouldn't that be 8'1"?
That's exactly the point. I'm glad you guys picked up on it.
Like, wait, what?
Coming down at 4 foot, 69 inches tall.
Danny, MT! Oh,
Oh,
Coming in at full communist.
oh. Coming down with 5 kills against Ukraine. Oh,
man.
Danny is always looking up in the sky, watching out for those drones.
Danny has tats of all the people he's killed.
Covering my back.
He's got like tally marks on his fucking
Yo, what up,
arm
Sky Dog?
of the amount of. God, that's terrible. I'm so. It's like Call of Duty, you know, like all the tally marks of people. Just, oh my God,
You
that's
said
bad.
duty.
Oh my God, that's bad. Danny,
Oh,
you
and-
suck.
You know who? You know what? You suck. How about that? Travis, you suck.
Now I'll tell you who sucks is Ubisoft. That and Hollywood as a whole. Yeah.
You had me at all Chi-Coms need to die.
Thank you.
And I am perplexed as to how many. Well, actually, not really. I'm only perplexed because I'm a good person, and I would expect the best of mankind. But it is obviously idealistic because you made the point. What was it 80% of people, or how many people are playing the fucking Marvel game and not give a
I mean,
fuck
only
about?
15 million are in China that are playing the game, but 40 million in total, from according to February, are playing the game. You know, and it's made by Tencent.
I would like to look at those numbers because chinks, you know, they lie. Never trust a smiling
Yes.
Chinaman. But like, and like, yeah, I'm sure the numbers are inflated, but how much? Because I can and have seen people who just don't give a shit about, you know, certain publishers and continue to support them despite the fact that they complain about them or whatever, or not even care and just play an inferior game and support a fucking terrible company. What was that, Travis? You bring it up.
This can lead
Hold
down
on,
a
Travis.
rabbit hole.
Travis, you rewind 30 seconds and say what you were saying again. Thank you.
Okay, so basically, what I was trying to say is that for Tencent, it can lead down a rabbit hole of, you know, it's not just that Marvel Rivals game. I mean, Tencent practically owns over 50% of video game companies. I mean, just Google what Tencent owns, and then look at how many video games they have made, you know, and then look at how many people have played those games. You know, it's like not all these gamers, all these nerds and players, they don't care if it's made by the Chinese communists. You know, they'll still play it because, you know why? Because Tencent actually makes good games. I mean, would I rather play a game that's good or a game that sucks, like Ubisoft?
They
I'd rather be a
ruined their
patriot,
whole,
honestly.
They ruined their whole Tom Clancy division games.
On purpose, yes.
Yep.
But that's the thing. They destroy, remove the value from the IP so they can acquire it, and then they've got an established IP that they can. Again, you got games where they show the fags in America, but those same screens and scenes, I should say, are replaced in China, and that sort of degeneracy is not shown. So it clearly is a subversive manner to try to take a hold of something they could never create. Okay, the bug people aren't creative, so they got to steal it. They got to buy it.
Yep. That's what.
What was
they've been
that
doing on
company?
Tuesday.
Remember those? It was that thing that it was like a hoverboard with a stick. I can't remember what it was called. A prototype name was Ginger, but it was the Segway. Was that what it was? Where
Probably.
people could stand on it and like it would move. Like it was geared towards people in a
Mall cops
factory.
use it.
What's that?
I said mall cops can use it.
Yeah. So that thing, China made a fucking a copy of it. They stole it, all that. They made their own. They got sued. They took it to the World Trade Organization. What's this company decide to do instead of settle and admit that they were wrong? They buy out the company entirely. So now we don't have to worry about fucking being sued for stealing. We own the company that we stole it from.
It's crazy.
It's not when you understand that these are bug people. It has to be understood. And you know what? I still have to chastise fucking Danny on this one. You stuck your dink in a chink.
Yeah, Danny did.
There
lot of
should
them.
be a fucking, there should be a
A
tribunal.
lot of them.
I mean, a military tribunal on you because
Mhm.
basically online with treason.
Travis, order it up.
Yeah.
Are you calling your lawyer, Danny? Because I don't hear any responses. I'm gonna have to take this to the
Yeah, a
UN.
lot of them.
I'm gonna take this to the UN.
Danny,
Actually,
you
it's
will
funny.
participate. You will be held subpoenaed.
The UN is less corrupt than fucking FIFA.
Damn.
That's fucking funny. But it's true though. It's so true. It's damn true.
Oh, it's true. It's damn.
It's damn true. Well, it just goes to show where, you know, money buys favors and such.
Tencent even has stake into Epic Games, which Epic Games owns. What? Fortnite. And how many people play Fortnite?
Millions.
Quite a few. Quite a
Bam!
few.
Bam!
Who owns Minecraft?
Yup. Who owns Roblox?
No,
and League
I'm
of
seriously
Legends?
asking. I don't know because I would think that would be a good avenue to again steal IP and make. So tell me, who owns Roblox? Or is that what I asked?
No, Mike.
The Minecraft, but Roblox also. Who owns both of them? Tell me, Travis.
Well, it says right here, Dave. I just pulled this up. It says Tencent invests in a variety of companies across several sectors. The company owns stakes in several popular video games developers, including Epic Games Fortnite, Roblox Corporation, which is Roblox, and Riot Games, which is League of Legends, of which Tencent owns 99.7% equity. But,
Wow.
you know,
No, I know. You say it with me. Fuck the chinks.
fuck. And
There we
you
go.
know what's even worse
This is therapy.
that-
This is proper therapy. Get it out, Travis.
Is that the Chinese Communist Party literally has an office in Tencent's building?
Yep.
So, you,
They got the hotline right to Beijing.
oh man!
Great leader, they are making the protagonist the black. What do we do?
But like
Subvert.
I said,
Subvert
these
the country.
players, the gamers, the nerds, the geeks, they don't care. Why? Because
They
Tencent
do.
will
They
make a
do.
decent game. You know?
No, I've seen outrage from people online that say I'm either boycotting this or I'm going to expose it and, you know, tell people about what's going on because, like, I don't agree with this stuff. And there's a big, I mean, again, the big pushback that you see, whatever, fucking N-word edition, Assassin's Creed, what was it called? Shadows.
Assassins?
No, Shadows, isn't that what it's called? Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yeah.
Well, that's also funny. Shadow is also black people, so I think they said they did that sort of on purpose. But like, how badly is that game losing? That, what was that thing where it was like a version of that game, but it was like a parody or the simulator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are playing that game and they absolutely love
that.
it.
I saw the numbers. More people are playing that than they are fucking Darkness or Shadows or whatever the fuck, black person samurai. You know, like more people are playing that, the fucking joke of the game, than the game itself, which proves the game itself is a joke. But they went for broke on purpose. Why? Because again, the bigger plan was to have China buy them up when they fucking lose all this value.
Yep.
And then take all this IP and then improve the product and then start to divert funds to China through game development companies and so forth. And because they're corrupt just like the fucking Indians, you're going to get a crap product regardless. They might try to push, you know, Chinese values and all that, but it's still going to be a shit game.
By the way, the checkmate was that the Ubisoft studio was in Quebec. That's the checkmate.
Bethesda, I believe, also was Canadian at one point.
But no, that's what Tencent bought. The Ubisoft studio that made Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's in Canada. I believe it's...
I saw a lot of Americans working on there, so...
Yep.
I don't know, like, again, the headquarters is one thing, where people are working is another. You can't say
they have how...
Yeah,
the credits are like 2 hours long.
There have been some pretty good Canadian software developers through the past.
Yes.
And certainly things that were revolutionary and groundbreaking. And eventually they all got absorbed by bigger American companies.
I think EA Big, or if anybody remembers that, EA Big was the one that made like SSX, NBA Street, NFL Street, all that. I think that was in Vancouver.
No, Vancouver had a lot of, and they still game development. Rockstar North, I believe, was based out of there. And they were the company that, like, they used to be, I can't remember what they were called, but there was, I'm going to have to look it up, but regardless, they made one of my favorite games of all time, period, hands down. And yes, I got ridiculed for it, but I don't give a fuck because the game is fucking awesome. It's called Dark Colony. I tried to get it to play on my computer, but unless if I make a virtual machine, I can't play it. I don't even know if I could if I do that, but bottom line is it's from the 90s, called Dark Colony. Imagine Starship Troopers, but imagine Starship Troopers as a fuck, and this, I believe it came out around the same time. But basically, you've got gray aliens, you've got bug aliens, you've got, you know, all these sorts of things, and you can play either side, real-time strategy, and just a ton of fun because you could upgrade things, and just great stuff. And you could play actually on a LAN at that point, 95, 96, you could play on a LAN. And I think you might have also been able to call somebody up on a modem. I don't think you guys ever experienced that. I played a lot of games back in the day where you could dial the other person's phone number, their computer was on, the modem would take the call, connect to the game that you were playing, and you could fight against each other. Descent was a great game. What else? I think it was called Megatron. It was like sort of a BattleTech mech.
Oh, that sounds pretty fun.
Battle thing. Oh, it was great. And again, to think DOS graphics and stuff. Limited, but still very, very useful, very fun to play. I think Battlezone, I guess. Remember Battlezone from the arcade? You'd
Yes.
have like, there was also other games like Legend of the those were text-based games. You'd connect to a computer that had 1, 2, or more lines hooked up through modems, and these people were just running it from their own. And you'd have this software playing where you could, again, be a medieval adventurer, but if you found somebody online that was still, again, if this BBS, that's what we call them, the little more system, had more than one line, you could find those people playing that same game and you could challenge them PvP. And it was all text-based and shit, and all obviously random. Dude, it was lit back in the day, man. Back in my day,
Back in my
Sonny's,
day,
it was
I used to play a
great.
game called The Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I played that game for sure. In fact, there was a game called Number Munchers, which I remember playing in junior kindergarten.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, 4 or 5 years old, 3, 4 years old. I think it's 4 or 5 years old. But basically, you have this little. It's like a Pac-Man with legs and more detail, and you got to go through a maze and decide if the number you're eating matches the equation that you're seeing on the screen. So, fun times. But then again, back in my day, Sonny, we had educational software. When was the last time you saw some educational, other than in a school? So, where in the world was Carmen Sandiego? Man, I fucking love that game. Fucking We're in Time and is Carmen Sandiego is one of my favorite games. And again, it was playing on one of these, Macs that was like cutting edge back in the day, and it was color, and I certainly fucking love that series. Did you watch the show, Travis?
I think so. I think I watched a little bit of it back when I was a kid and stuff.
On PBS, dude.
Yep, it was on PBS, and I think a couple of my teachers, if we had, like a video day or something, like for like Fun Fridays or something, like when it was like the last hour of like school on Fridays, I think we would pop on something, for like first and second grade or something, something.
Oh, that long ago for me. Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, that I always loved that show. And I remember watching it after school. What's that?
I try to remember always, the stuff I grew up with, because today's stuff for kids it's not okay. It's not okay.
It's not for kids.
No,
It's for
it's
pedophiles
not.
and groups.
Exactly. So like I every time I have my nephews over and stuff, I try to turn on like the old G.I. Joe, the Transformers, something. Something that
What
like I
about,
used to watch.
Stop it.
Because I don't know if you remember this name, you probably do, but G.I. Joe used to come out with the badass toys. Remember the aircraft carrier? That was fucking huge.
1985, it was about 6 feet long.
Yes.
I actually knew a guy that had it, and he had it in a basement. And again, the house was beautiful, and the basement was the size of the fucking, and it was unfinished and all that, but it was the size of the house. The basement was massive. And in one area, guy had his fucking G.I. Joes with the aircraft carrier. It was the most glorious thing I'd ever personally witnessed. And it was one of those things that you'd see it in the ads. You'd fucking, like when you have the G.I. Joes, the flyer that comes with them, says all the different vehicle figures that are available. And like you see that and you fantasize, kid, my God, I wish I could have that sort of thing. And that is, yeah, it's one of those kid fantasies.
I'm trying to teach my nephews to like the old school cartoons, because I don't want them watching this new shit.
Good.
And also, remember the Transformers? Remember, like, you could collect over hundreds and just collect them in a room. like you had like your own army of Transformers, especially with like the GI Joe.
Yeah, I had tons of Transformers, but I want to go back to what you said about putting forth a good example to your nephews. Is you remember? Okay, so He-Man, 1982, 1983 comes out. You have GI Joe, 1982. And yes, granted, the government sort of forced this on them because they loopholes. But regardless, is that those shows end, and in fact, many shows during that time end with what? A moral parable, okay? A moral lesson, right?
Yes.
So again, that actually, do you see that at all in any show? Because I don't watch TV.
No.
I don't know what the fuck kids
No,
are.
not in the stuff they
But,
watch.
like-
The only thing that's good for kids today, I would just say, is this one show that I've seen them watch is Bluey. That's the only thing that I think is good for kids. Is this show called Bluey? It's about like dogs or whatever. It's like an animated cartoon.
Well, if you don't
That's
know,
the
I can't
only
trust
thing.
you because, if you come on.
No, but everything else, like even like I can't let them watch Disney. Like no.
Yeah,
I
Disney's
can't.
weird now. It's not like
I have to. I can't let my nephew watch Disney. Like I've told
No,
my.
but see, I'm trying
told
to
my
make a
sister this.
point. I'm trying to make a point about how distinct the two different types of cartoons there are compared to when I was growing up, where again, the end of the show comes with some sort of moral lesson for to know
Yeah, like
what to do.
Captain Planet.
Yeah, that
Captain
was
Planet
later
always had
on.
an episode.
That was later
always
on
had- yeah.
for me. But again, you saw that a lot. Again, if you were Masters in the early 1980s, like I was, or fucking GI Joe in the early 1980s, you'd always have that PSA at the end. And
Yeah.
again, you also had like fucking like sitcoms and stuff. Sitcoms would have a fucking PSA at the end.
Yeah.
Even Pee Wee Herman had a show where it wasn't a show, but it was a sort of commercial that he did. I guess it was after he was found.
No,
Gay.
no, you're right. Like episodes would have a moral point to the story or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially like whether it's about fires or not
Important,
telling the
yeah.
truth about something or being honest or something like that.
Or being safe, like don't jump
Yeah,
over
exactly.
that electrical cable that fell down from the post.
Oh, it's
Don't go
okay,
water,
Trustin. You can, you don't always, you can always ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
The more was it, and now and knowing is half the battle.
The battle.
That was what we were getting back in the fucking early '80s with GI Joe.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just
So there's
like,
there's clearly a difference, but more importantly is that you've got the shows that you're discussing that are currently going on that are promoting degenerate fucking opinions and views and stuff, and essentially because it's for young ages and they're impressionable, it is essentially indoctrination. And I again wouldn't blame you. Again, the best stuff you can already see on streams and stuff. Like, why don't you give them an old Disney movie before it got
I
woke
do.
through the internet.
I-
Like you've got
No,
that.
I
You've
do.
got Fleischer
I have-
movies, Warner
I
Brothers,
do.
all this stuff.
Yeah, I have the Disney Plus, but what I do is for them, I turn it on like the 70s and 80s. Like I'll turn it on the old. I think it came out in '73 if someone wants to fact check this, but the Robin Hood animated cartoon Robin Hood. I think it came out in '73.
You mean Rocket Robin Hood?
Is it Rocket Robin Hood? Yes.
Is he going? Okay, no. There's if he's going through space, it's Rocket Robin Hood. If he's just some other Robin Hood on Earth, that's a different story. I watched the Rocket Robin Hood, where it's like the 1960s take on Robin Hood, but flying through space and shit. And you have these weird fucking painted backgrounds, and it was like the 1960s Hercules cartoon.
Oh no, it's
where he had the ring and then he got powerful.
No, it's the Disney animated classic Robin Hood from 1973. It's the one where
Oh, with
basically
the
Robin
with
Hood,
the
with the fox.
anthropomorphic characters like the fox. Well, the fox is fucking Robin Hood.
Yep.
That's the one you're
Yep.
talking about. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, or the Jungle Book, you know, or the Aristocrats. It's pretty good, in my opinion.
Aristocats,
Or
actually.
Aristocats.
Yeah, where they actually showed. There was a small portion of the movie, one cell, I believe, that showed a topless woman in a window as they flew by, and that was a big scandal and stuff because once it was sort of copied over to DVD initially, people were able to see it and stop it, and eventually all these films had to be recalled and they reissued it with that. But that was sort of snuck in by the people that were working for Disney. I don't know if you ever heard that. You guys ever heard that at all? Still conspiracy.
I've heard a lot of those things that is stuck into those Disney movies I never heard about. And it's the cats.
All hail our new cyborg leader.
Danny MG, Cyborg.
Straight from Texas. I am Robo Danny.
But
My
I
commie
could go,
phone
I could go
can't
farther
hand
back
it.
for movies. I think I had The Sword in the Stone.
Yes, that was a dark movie. That was called Dark Disney at that point, where they were releasing. Oh, what was it? Was it The Secret of Nim?
Better.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah,
Yeah, that was again. Characters were fucking mice, and they were like it was a fucking deep movie, and there was some dark things in that. But that was the dark Disney era that people have referred to. They were making movies that were outside their usual purview, but it was just like they went far. Not to say they weren't bad movies, but like it certainly wasn't for kids. But us kids did watch it, and we were sort of scarred from it.
Yeah.
You guys have to look into this era. It was the dark Disney era, and it was actually pretty cool, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah.
Then again, Gen X, which I am part of, we wouldn't be the great generation that we are of humanity if it wasn't for being scarred by this sort of thing. But then again, you can't do that today because kids, will either suicide themselves or claim some sort of harassment.
It's like, how do you know that you're old? Let's play outside.
What's outside? What's an outside?
Yeah, exactly.
That to this day still gets me,
Dude.
man. These children nowadays, the neighborhood that I live in is so nice, and it's got a beautiful park that is made for them. We've got 2 lakes out here. It's just an amazing place to be. And you don't see a single fucking kid outside all day, but you see a million of them in the morning going to the bus. That's just sad. Like, for real, that bugs the shit out of me. Like, I don't know, man.
Sounds like the perfect place for me to set up my school for discipline on worthless children. And I could have a whole fucking boot camp for all these losers and make them into real men.
Man, now.
And you know what? And then it goes
It's
into
like
a
I feel like I'm the only one that, or not the only one that's on my street that literally lives alone because there's no one else in there. But these places are packed with families. But my street is dead, except for the old people that walk their dog. 'Cause their fucking kid ain't doing it. There ain't shit going on out here. It's sad.
It sounds like there's a bunch of kids that need a good beating, and the best beatings are the Singaporean ones. Then get a cane to the back, and there could be a good business potential there if the parent actually cared for those children. I could certainly discipline them for a fee and make them better people.
And then it goes all the way around into a first full circle because they are on their tablets, their game systems, playing what? Fortnite and Roblox, which is owned by who? The Chinese Communist Party.
The devil.
Oh, see, again, deprogramming communist is my speciality.
The devil.
So I could take these kids and I could make them realize how the commies are scum, and in fact, I could teach them how to program better. So there's so much potential. I might need to move, and yeah, maybe I'll make better Americans. Galvanize the children, radicalize them.
Isn't Roblox that game that a bunch of fucking weirdo perverts that are like 50 years old trying to groom kids?
Yeah, they try to groom kids and try to recruit them. And
I just heard about that the other day. So I knew that was a big thing. Like, oh, Roblox. You hear about this shit that these kids love to play it. Like, I figured it was just another stupid ass version of fucking Minecraft. Like, I don't see the fun in those kind of games.
That's the way I kind of see it. So fucking simple bullshit.
So it's like, whatever, all right. But if these fuckers like it, fine. But then come to find out, creeps are like, okay, you like Roblox so much? That's a way for me to get to you since I can't get to you on your fucking bicycle outside, motherfuckers, because you don't come out. So let's play Roblox. And
there's been cases already where because of that, they lure the kids to, try to lure kids to some sort of like a Walmart or something like that. And these people, these pedo catchers, end up fucking intercepting this shit, and they show up themselves, and these people try to and it's fucking. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's just fucking great work.
Yeah, I've seen that because remember the whole thing when we were going off on him about his 16-year-old girlfriend and all that shit. Well, Tony from Revere, he was the one that started bringing up these predator catcher fucking things, and he was like tagging shit. And I actually started watching some of those channels, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. Like, I mean, like, and this is a good thing. These people are really out here being, they claim in their little disclaimers that they're not being vigilantes, but they really fucking are. They're helping. They're catching these cocksuckers that are trying to meet at Walmarts and McDonald's and all that shit. It's interesting.
When the social contract is broken and the judiciary and police enforce laws that are established, it falls upon the people to do so. As such, I see no illegal that have been taken in this regard by law.
Me either. These fuckers are doing a million times better of a job than the police are doing. And you know, some of these places, some of these videos you see, they call the cops and they get them to come arrest these fuckers. Some of them are even already on the registry for the shit, and they don't arrest them. They're like, oh, there's nothing we can do or whatever. They let these fuckers walk off.
Because there's no accountability being held. Meanwhile, when you are somebody that is streaming this and are willing to speak to your legal representatives and elected officials about any crime that's going on, it forces those that have been turning a blind eye to actually address the issue. And they're not happy to do so because many of them are on the take. Therefore, they make money from whatever it is that's being done. Prostitution, gun smuggling, drug dealing. Yeah. They're making money, so they're not going to speak up. And it's
always these smaller towns too, so that would make sense. It's like a fucking, I guess that's a little
smaller
fucking
big.
Behind the door
type of revenue. Macro, it still applies. You'll find this in New York City with all those cops. You'll find this certainly in LA, but you'll also find this in small towns too.
Yep.
Now, answer me this, Danny. How can I be so informed and intelligent and cognizant of American happenings, meanwhile living in Canada and being born Argentinian? I was told that was a disability. Is that the true case?
No, what it is just like with your question right there, along with your vocabulary, it's because you fucking pretend. And it's annoying.
You got me. I was just pretending to be smart. I just because I
How
got no
does Dave do these
vocabulary.
things? He pretends. Because it's just that easy. I could fucking put
Yeah,
it in a resume
got
tomorrow
me.
at NASA. All I gotta do is pretend I'm a rocket scientist.
You got me.
Hello.
There you go.
It's just that easy.
I hang my head in shame.
Danny, beat his fucking ass now.
Oh man, the way I'm feeling, I really would love to beat somebody the fuck up right now. Even if I tried,
I
probably
will-
a 10-year-old kid
I
could
will
beat
say
me up right
nothing.
now with all my blood stolen from my body to go give to somebody else that doesn't deserve to have my blood.
Yeah, once you get hyped up, Danny, you stay hyped up. So
Yeah, I get pretty fucking mad.
Alright.
even with the lack of blood that
Travis,
you've experienced, I'm sure that you'd give it a last good go. And
Travis, did you see what GMTA put
Oh
in
yeah,
the
to the
Discord?
death. To the fucking death.
The little video, Travis?
Oh yes, yes I did.
Did you see it? Monumental.
no,
Dave, look in
Bro.
general, by the way.
Dave,
yeah,
General,
you just wrote me a fucking New York. Again, I have
will
Nikki
respect my
fucking
son?
talking over me and
you will
Danny.
respect my...
Unbelievable. Okay, certain disrespect. But okay, so what am I supposed like? TLDR there, Travis, because that's a lot to read.
So basically, it's basically a list saying what 10 owns, like what they fully own and what they have minority stakes in.
Okay, well that's quite the list, and fuck the chinks. I don't know what else to say, but like again, I vote with my wallet, and I certainly won't play certain things that are associated with Tricoms.
Well, that's the thing people talk about now. It's like it's becoming a point now where you don't count how many players are playing a game. I mean, it's certainly the criteria you add, but it's whether or not you take out your wallet and pay $70 for a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows, which a game that sucks and also has microtransactions, by the way, which makes it even worse.
Only people that suck penis would say that, because it's just like, no, it's judged by how many people. Like, oh shit, and it's just like it keeps getting worse. So it's just like you can't fucking gaslight me into thinking this game is good.
Exactly. How horrible does a game have to be when you see it on Twitter and
See,
it has
that's not
microtransactions? You know.
My friend, the question is the answer.
GMTA, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up?
Shout out to GMTA. Very passionate conversation going on. Travis, understand this. Just like, in fact, you know what? Best analogy. I'm huge. The Titanic wasn't the Titanic. It was the Olympic. Basically, a coal fire got started. They changed the name of it, overnight. Made it look like that was the ship that went out. It sunk. They took the insurance money. Okay? Just like the Twin Towers, Silverstein. So the same thing with this is they're purposely sinking Titanic. Okay? They're purposely sinking the value of those IPs so that they can buy them up for nothing. And everyone's in on it. Everyone's in on it.
Yeah.
So come on, Travis, like, get beyond the point like, oh, look at what they're doing. No. They're doing it, and then you find out it's basically the bug people.
Oh yeah, it was an inside job.
It was. No, because people, again, their influence got these fucking woke DEIs into these studios, which caused them to purposely deteriorate the value by pushing things that they knew were unpopular and were weren't going to be accepted. They purposely sabotaged their own brand. Same thing's going on right now with.
Was it me or? Okay, so it is
you
Dave.
just cut out.
Who, me?
You.
Like he,
Yeah.
it
Fuck.
went silent.
Okay, so
What the fuck?
I said the same thing occurred with D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Do I have to go further back as to what I was talking about?
Just keep
Everyone-
going.
No, I was just saying basically, again, the same sort of thing, this wokeness thing. You introduce these individuals who aren't interested in what the established lore is. Like Fallout guys. And again, I played Fallout on the PC. I've never played anything else that came after that. And obviously there was a lot. Now, obviously the initial lore was that the Chinese committed a first strike. Okay. Now they recently revised that it was capitalists that were trying to run some sort of experiment on people in the vaults, and not the owner, but the creator came out and said, no, that's not the canon. The canon is basically wrote it that the Chinese took the first strike. And that's why we've got the Fallout world that I created in a few games. So it goes to show that, again, with yet another IP, they're purposely sabotaging. And again, especially anything that's critical of China. I mean, how more visible can it be? Look, I'm going to need you guys to increase your stances here, and
Oh well, you already know my thoughts, Dave. I mean,
no, I want to hear some derogative responses, or at least an agreement with me that.
Oh, I
Whitey.
totally agree.
Okay, you're going to a camp.
Re-education camp.
Feet first into the woods.
Who said anything about re-education?
We're beyond that now, Trav.
Yeah. What chippers?
Still too kind.
Let's see, what time is it for this? We still got about how much longer until main card?
8.
PM. Oh,
Or
sorry.
wait, 7?
the
It might
graphic
be
that-
7,
that-
actually.
The graphic that Ryan put up said 7 p.m. Eastern, but maybe that's just the start of the show.
Okay, so all right. No, that
So
makes
and
sense.
then I
think it started
guess
3
maybe
p.m.
10 p.m. Maybe that's usually the
No.
case, right? It's 3 hours after the start.
Yeah, it's 3 hours after preliminary. So yeah, 7 p.m. for you, 6 p.m. for Central.
Oh, okay, so
Which is
Oh.
okay, cool. So
That makes
we've got like an hour and a half.
whatever. I'm here. Worship me. Acknowledge me.
I acknowledge devious.
Scratch my head and pat me. So Travis, your Michigan teams win the other day? Going big blue?
Nah, they lost last night.
Both of them?
Nah,
Wasn't it Michigan State and Michigan that were
Yeah,
playing
State-
the other day?
State won last night, but Michigan lost. It's all right. They had a good year.
Did I send flowers to you?
Nah, they weren't expecting to go this far though. So
What happened? It's our year.
no, I had them losing early actually.
You know
So-
what would change that? If you were a coach.
No, thank you.
Do I have to petition JD Vance for you to be appointed as coach? In fact, why don't we, Nikki? I'm surprised that you didn't think about it. Guys, your son, your progenitor, but like, why not fucking start up these petitions? Everyone signs it and approach the Trump administration. Made a coach.
So I haven't told no one here about this, but a couple weeks ago I was interviewed for a coaching job.
You didn't even tell your dad, did you?
No.
Nikki, I bet you didn't even know this.
I did know.
That's how, you know what? I'm gonna be the Christian Cage to you, Travis. I will be your dad. Fuck this other guy.
I do know because a month before he was telling us about it. And then when you told us, and then when you told me the town you were going to, I was like, oh, okay.
But it came down to three candidates, and I went down there for an in-person interview, and I did not get it. I went to someone else.
Oh,
dude, that guy's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, Travis, just keep putting your apps in.
Yep.
Oh! Dude, look at his legs. He's out.
Oh my God! You see his like...
Damn.
Good control on that guy. He's just, you know, as soon as he saw him drop, he didn't.
Yeah.
Dude, that's GMTA on the ground right there. Damn.
Oh.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding.
Gang violence.
That's gang violence right there.
Gang
that's my prison
violence.
still, dude.
Travis, again, I'm a little stoned, but I think I was feeling sorry for you and whatever it was that you were saying.
Oh,
just a
about the
moment ago.
coaching. No, it's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Unfortunate. Should have beat the shit out of every one of those people that decided not to lie you.
They chose a guy with experience. I have no experience, and you know,
what the fuck? You do this
on?
on YouTube. It's like, obviously you know what you're from.
Oh yeah.
You're a professional.
He's
Please,
still out.
Razer fist,
He's still
stop.
out. Holy shit.
They need to hurry and replay the
Medic.
fucking. I didn't see it.
They probably will.
So Travis, being in the South, do you make a good and mean peach cobbler?
No, that's what the women are for.
Well, good point. Yes, true.
Hey, for the peach cobbler and apple cobbler, yep, that's where the nannies come in. You know, they're right there in the window, and you can smell it 3 miles away.
When I was on my way home yesterday, there's a guy in front of me in his truck. He had in the back of it, he had a new dishwasher. I was like, oh, you got a new wife.
Worsher.
The washer.
Yeah, that Michigan accent's a little weird.
Wash. Yeah, we wash
Worsher.
our clothes. Or at least we wash our clothes.
got
My
wash the
Worcestershire sauce.
Dishwasher.
No, you gotta
Just
wash.
Shire sauce.
Wash your sister sauce.
No, you gotta wash the dishes.
Wash. Yeah, wash the dishes.
No, wash.
Where the
Yeah, wash.
No,
is that like
Dave.
like from Newfoundland? Is it from fucking
Michigan.
Irish?
Wash.
Wash.
No. Someone help me!
I can't. There's no way to change that pronunciation. I bet. Oh, okay, Nikki, say wah.
Wah. Like Benoit.
And that's it. And now say shh.
Now say shh.
Shh.
Okay, so now wah.
Wash.
Ah!
Oh my God! Oh!
The Michigan thing.
Gee,
Well, I
gee,
guess
wanna hear
it's
myself
unique.
talk.
I've never heard Shav talk this way.
He's down in the city. He doesn't understand it.
He speaks street jive.
He speaks jazz candy. speaks
Good.
Italian.
I'm down with the brothers.
Dude, this guy is still on the ground.
Where's the stretcher?
I know.
I sold it.
Where's this happening again?
In the UK. Manchester.
Well, again, they're, I think it's called the NHS, has been proven to be probably worse than Canadian healthcare, which is bad on its own. And they don't prioritize native Britons. They basically give more opportunities to anybody who's not British.
Damn, he's up finally.
He's alive, goddamn!
Dude, look at his face. God
Damn.
damn. Someone took his wife and his lunch money.
That's the
There he
first
goes.
one. That's the first
Yep.
one. And then he
He's
counts
already
them, and then
fucking
right here.
profusely
Oh.
Oh.
And
Wow.
look at that control. Look at that control. He's just like standing there. He already he recognized it. And hardly touched this guy. Does he really have Samuel L. Jackson tattooed on his arm?
Well, you know.
Get these motherfucking fighters out this motherfucking ring.
You know, I've actually never seen that movie. I've just seen clips of it, and everybody's like, it's just one of the most stupidest movies, but it was just so popular for some reason. Like, I don't know. I remember when it came out, though. Texas. Just cross over the line into Texas. Giggle cream.
Devious. Dave Rose.
Dave Rose.
Yeah. My power just fucking went out.
Uh-oh. Now they're doing
that ice
rolling
storm going on.
blackouts. Montreal's
Ice
picking
out.
on you again. Ottawa.
Watch out, Parliament's coming for you.
apparently now they're coming after samurai swords in Britain. They're doing the buyback for samurai swords.
No, ninja. That's what Keir Steimer said. That he referred to them as ninja swords, which is hilarious. But yeah, so those are banned. But I'm sure the criminals will certainly adhere to whatever rulings they make.
There was the British police did a bust on knives, and they took like a picture of all these knives right there on this table or whatever. Do you know what was in with those knives? An old fucking spoon. I shit you.
Oh, there's been other things that have been featured. In fact, I believe if you're under 16, you cannot buy butter knives, even if they don't have a rounded, if they don't have a pointed tip. If they're rounded, you cannot buy, unless you've got some sort of parental permission or an adult buys it. But you cannot buy butter knives or any knife that has a rounded edge. But yeah, like, let's continue to import infinity fucking Muslims, and yeah, that'll go great. Where now they're demanding that, like, hey, nobody should. They actually said this recently. Nobody should be eating during the daylight hours of Ramadan because it tempts us. It's like, but you're in an English country where people eat whenever they want to, and they also like pork. You have no right to demand these sorts of things. But any criticism of that in England gets you arrested for trying to be disruptive to diversity.
You know what we did when the Brits were doing some dumbass shit? We threw the tea in the fucking harbor.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that the British are not Americans. Okay, they're not pioneers and conquerors. They're fucking subjects who are willing to be abused, and only the ones who escaped it were actually able to grow like humans. So England's lost, unfortunately. All the culture, all the beautiful stuff that came from it, it's lost because they're not going to fucking protect their own culture. You know, compared to all the garbage they're importing.
People are dying laughing at the whole buyback shit for the swords. It's just a killer.
For the what?
They're doing a buyback. So basically, what you do is you take your samurai or ninja swords up to the police station, and they'll buy it back from you for like £5.
That's pathetic. It costs taxpayer money, and it's unnecessary because a lot of these things are ceremonial. But this is just them trying to claim that they're taking action when criminals are going to keep carrying weapons, regardless if they're legal or not. So they're not really doing anything other than trying to appease their stupid boomer liberal voters. Travis, when are you going to run for office?
Oh, me? Oh, no, I'm just...
Yes, you. Is there another Travis here? I don't think there's another Travis here.
Oh, boy, me running for office? Oh, I'd rather have you, Dave, or you, Nicky, or someone here.
But I can't because I'm not American.
Oh, they think Trump's
Unless
bad?
you panic.
Holy shit. They give Trump only like 1,000 times more. Like...
Ooh.
Listen, I just bring topics here for us to talk about as
You'd
a
be
group.
you'd be a good local representative. You're not too extreme, and you know, you do well. I could be an advisor if you'd like, but again, you know, I'm not an American citizen. I can't run for office.
The person I am is just common sense. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I do. Still sounds too soft for me, but yeah, you know, when I was young and naive, I also thought the same. But yeah, you could be a good prospect for, you know, a governor or something, maybe a representative.
It's stupid. Like, a lot of this shit going on right now is fucking dumb.
Why you? Why is he fucking talking? I'm trying to have a conversation with Travis.
I am
The blasphemer.
parody.
Heimlich maneuver.
GMJ, what up, brother? What's going on, dog?
Do you believe one day that my son, Too Tall Yeti, aka Big Balls Yeti, will give me a frontal Heimlich maneuver?
I think so.
Good.
Travis is like, great.
Hey! Hey!
Women want
My
my body.
butthole's a buffet.
Oh my god!
I will bend for you.
Yeah, I remember that a couple years ago.
We might have to do a tribunal. I think Nikki's becoming gayer and gayer every year.
I'm not gay.
Maybe I want you to assault me.
I don't know. The clips don't lie, and GMC has a lot of ammo.
Have you ever
He
heard
said that real quick. I'm not gay.
Have you ever heard of AI?
Yeah, my butthole pussy. Yes.
My point exactly.
Whose tractor is that?
Boom. You're singing Cody's butthole.
It hasn't me.
What are you eating?
I can't remember what it was,
Cody's butthole.
but I said it as I was eating.
Oh my god, Cody Mastro. Oh my god, Mastro me.
Fucking
Oh my god,
disgusting.
Yeti.
Dude, Nicky has become he's trans. He's transforming.
He's transforming.
Dave, I'm getting worried here. We gotta do a tribunal. We gotta break down these clips, all right?
He's a
Yeah,
robot
see,
in disguise.
Okay, it's called patricide. That basically means killing your father, and that is your duty now. He is beyond his worth and clearly off the deep end. So it's your duty, Travis, because you are his son, to end that lineage and to declare yourself the ruler of House Nicky.
Nicky went from alpha to beta.
Travis is in succession line. He is over Cody.
He is the first. He is your firstborn son. But again, he needs to claim his kingdom.
Cody
And,
just arms our Northern Alliance.
You know
So
what?
Danny,
Go
do
paint
you
the
think
model,
about-
Cody. Go paint the model.
Danny, what
How
do you
about
think about Nikki, though?
I will put your body into mine.
Jesus, Danny,
Whoa.
you too? What the fuck?
You're all sick. I'd euthanize every single one of you.
Golly.
Getty said he wanted to
Inheritance
I
ingest
will smoke
Danny
one
MT
of
the other
your- swear to
day.
God.
I don't even
What the hell did you just say, Danny?
I will snort a line of your ass. I swear to God.
know.
You all get one-way tickets to the fucking death camp.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, that includes you two
Oh, what?
Yes,
What?
bitches.
for being part of this fiasco.
I am not alive.
I will snort for you.
All right, there, relax, Rolo, Danny.
Turning into Bane. Time to go mobile.
He's a cyborg now.
Yeah.
Again. Tonight I shall be making my chicken wings, yes.
Yes, of course, yes. Yes, of course, devious one, yes.
And I think I'll partner that up with some home fries, russet potatoes, and maybe some carrot and celery sticks. I still believe that there should be a community convention, ComCon, and there should be a community cook-off.
What, for this Discord?
No, I mean meeting somewhere in the world, like a convention.
No.
And could be Niagara Falls.
I mean, like, they always do like the chili festivals.
Yeah. I'd actually back in what was it? The year was what was that? 19 or 20. Okay, so either 1999. Actually, it was probably 98 or 99, where I had a bunch of friends that pooled their money and they made one of these first LAN competitions type thing in Canada, and they had it close to the airport in Toronto, and there was people from America coming over and stuff, and they had hundreds of people that attended. It was crazy that they were able to pull it off, and I was there helping them out, doing all this other stuff, but they had sponsors, they were handing out prizes. It was fucking nuts, dude. It was like a LAN party convention before those things got really big. So I was part of that. And I also try to, and I got ridiculed for that. I was telling you earlier, Travis, but Dark Colony, some of my closer friends were like ridicule me about like trying to bring that game to the LAN and or the LAN convention, and I found a few people that were willing to play with me, so at least I was able to do that. But again, it was just a great game.
To see what came out in video game history, and there was something here that I saw. 1996, 29 years ago, Super Fire Pro Wrestling X Premium was released for the Super Nintendo, and it was released in Japan.
So it was released for the Super Famicom. Why you lie, Round Eye?
Why you lie, Round Eye?
Medal of Honor Vanguard was released for the PlayStation 2 in France 18 years ago. WWE All-Stars PlayStation 3 version was released 14 years ago today. NASCAR the game in 2011, Nikki, was
There it is.
Was released 14 years ago. PlayStation 3 version.
Which wrestling game you say?
All-Stars.
WWE All-Stars.
Oh, that cartoon you looking for?
Yeah, Travis will celebrate any shitty game.
No, just seeing what's out there.
No,
you know,
yes.
like,
Just stop.
It's just the
You know.
games that came out like today, like
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
past.
no, there's been it's not an instance here, Niggy.
I mean, I
The
can-
fact
I can
is, he
name
has
the
promoted
iPad
games that were
games.
shit. You've promoted games that were shit.
Am I being told I have no lines right now?
I'm telling you that your son is wrong.
Travis, how dare you? How dare you?
Can you trust this guy to give you the Heimlich?
I relocated.
Yes. If I
You
was
can?
dying. he
Okay,
would
good luck.
resuscitate. He wouldn't want my computer though for some fucking.
No, he
reason.
wants your estate. No, he wants it all. He wants all your game systems, your fucking computer.
MLB The Show 16 was released on the PlayStation 4 today. And that was 9 years ago.
Means nothing to me. My last system was a fucking Xbox. So. And again, even having friends that had newer systems and stuff. Apart from the Fat Boy PS3, which is fucking amazing with its backwards compatibility. The Wii was just fucking. It was a GameCube 1.5. Nothing really improved other than its form factor, really. Its stupid setup with its sideways look, or again horizontal. It just didn't make sense. Just fucking, and again limiting titles to kids for games, or games for kids. Little stone. Insult to all those that supported Nintendo when they would have adult titles on there, but also feature good graphics, or graphics that at least were equivalent at the time, not something that was dated, and they were just using old hardware to fucking push a shitty product that really only kids would fucking absorb.
I see Fleet Commander was released in Japan on the Nintendo Entertainment System 37 years ago, 1988.
Travis, I don't think you seem to understand the point that I just put forth, is the fact that Nintendo scammed a whole generation of people thinking that the Wii and the Wii U was actually good. This is criminal. And that how much they charge is also criminal. You have nothing to criticize on this matter?
What, for 34 years ago? The Nintendo?
Oh my god.
I mean, Nintendo today is, for just a Switch, you have to pay an arm and a leg.
Too many words for you there, Travis? I know you're from the South, but come on. But okay, let me restate it. The Wii, the Nintendo Wii.
Yes.
Considering it was basically a GameCube, just smaller.
Help TV companies because people would throw their remotes at the
Do you think that was a next-gen platform? That was a
No.
good system compared to what it was going against, like the Xbox and PS2 at the time? Could that compare? That's the point I'm trying to make. Nintendo was hawking their wares, knowing that they were inferior, but who are they gearing it to? Because they weren't letting fucking something like Resident Evil be on there. It was all kids games, right?
Sure.
So,
All right, everybody. I will be back at 6:30 for where I'm gonna go farming. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.